Today we'll be looking at the topic active and passive voice. My name is Mrs. Ala Rosemary. In our topic today, the aim of our objective is to look at the definition of active and passive voices. Then we're going to look at the differences between the active and the passive voice. And lastly, we'll look at how to change the active voice to passive sentences. In English grammar, verbs have 5 properties. We have the voice, the mood, the tense, person, and number. However, we are concerned with the voice, okay? And the 2 grammatical voices we have in English language are the active and the passive voice. Now, how do we define the active and the passive voice? The active voice means that a sentence has a subject that acts upon its verb. This means that the subject takes the action in the sentence. And the passive voice means that the object occupies the subject position. Okay? Now we're going to look at examples of the active and the passive voice. The first example says, "The man killed the goat." This sentence is in the active voice. The man, the subject, takes the action of killed. Right? And then we have the goat, which is the object in the sentence. If we are to turn that sentence to the passive form of the passive sentence, it becomes the goat was killed by the man. So the goat, which is the object, has taken the position of the subject in the sentence. Now, what is the difference between the active and the passive voice? When the subject of a sentence performs the verb's action, we can say this sentence is in the active voice. Sentences in the active voice have a strong, direct, and clear tone. We're going to look at short and straightforward examples of active voice. The examples we have here are, number 1, monkeys adore bananas. You can see that in the simple positions that each of these words occupy. Monkeys adore bananas. Monkeys in this sentence is what the subject of the sentence. Adore is what the verb, and then we have bananas, which is the object of the sentence. The next example is the cashier counted the money. The cashier is the subject, counted is the verb, the money is the object. The dog chased the cat. That is another example. The dog is the subject, chased is the verb, the cat is the object. Now, all 3 of the sentences we listed above have a basic active voice. Okay, there is a basic active voice construction. And what is the construction here? We have the subject, verb, and the object. The subject, monkey, performs the action described by adore. The subject, the cashier, performs the action described by the word counted. And then we have the subject, okay, the dog, performs the action described by the verb chased. So the subjects perform the action in the sentence. They take action in their sentences. If we look at the passive voice, on the other hand, a sentence can be said to be passive when the object takes the place of the subject in the sentence. Example, you have the boy was chased by the dog. Okay? Now, the passive voice is always, how do we construct the passive voice? It is always constructed with a conjugated. When we say conjugated, we mean a joined or linked form of the to be plus the verb's past participle. Okay, let's just put this simply. It consists, or to construct the passive voice is using a conjugated or linked form of the to be verb plus the verb's past participle. Now, if we're going to do this, we also have to generate a preposition. Okay? Now, let's look at the be verbs that we have in English language. What are the be verbs that we have? We have be, is, was, are, am, were, being, and being. Examples of passive voice, we have bananas are adored by monkeys. Bananas in that sentence is the object that has occupied the subject position are adored is the be verb plus the past participle adored. By is the preposition, and then monkeys is the subject in the sentence. We have the next example. The money was counted by the cashier. The money is the object, followed by was counted, which is the be verb plus the past participle counted. By is the preposition. The cashier is the subject. The same example also goes for the third example on the board, which is the cat was chased by the dog. Now, if we take a closer look at the pair of sentences or of the active sentences, monkeys adore bananas and bananas are adored by monkeys, which is the passive form. The active sentence, monkeys adore banana, consists of subjects, which is the monkey, adore, which is the verb, bananas, which is the object in the sentence. However, the passive sentence consists of bananas, which is the object, followed by are adored. This is a form of to be plus the past participle adored, all right, generated by the preposition by, and then we have monkeys, which is the subject in the sentence. Now, making the sentence passive flipped the structure and necessitated the preposition by. In fact, all three of the transformed sentences above require the addition of by. Now, how do we change active sentence to passive sentences? There are basically three ways we can do this. Number one, you have to take note that the subject takes object position and the object takes subject position. Number two, the appropriate be verb, okay, the appropriate be verb form must be used when changing from active to passive. And then the preposition by is introduced before the subject in object position. Okay? Now, I want us to take note of the tense forms of the be verb. Alright? We have the present tense form. What be verbs can be used in the present tense form? We have am, are, is. And you should take note, remember your singular and plural presentations. Alright, so we have the sentence here. It says, I am in the singular form. If you take it to the plural form, it becomes we are. And the next example we have, you are, taken to the plural form, still maintains you are. He, she, it is in the singular form. If you take it to the plural form, becomes they are. Right? Now we have the past tense form. What be verbs can we use in the past tense form? We can use was, were, and words. Okay, so we have now these words. All right, we have the singular form and the plural form. Example, I was becomes what? We were in the plural form. You were in the singular form becomes you were. And then he, she, it was. Okay, if you bring it to the plural form, still becomes what? They were. Remember the first I was. Okay, I was is in the singular form. You bring it to the plural form, becomes we were. And then we have you were in the singular form. It still maintains you were in the plural form. He, she, it was becomes what? They were. Now, if we look at the perfect form or the past participle, what type of be verb can be used there? Is the be verb being. And the progressive form, which is the present participle, it becomes being. All right? So we have the example there. I have been. And several other examples. And if you bring it to the progressive form or the present participle form, becomes I am being. Okay? All right, so this is all we're going to look at for this first lesson. If there are any questions, you can reach me on the number below. Thank you, and do have a very wonderful day.